What's going on, MSFers? Duelim here, and today we've got Cosmic Crucible Defense week number 4. That's right, we're continuing our journey of trying to make a defense that's pretty good while still keeping enough on offense to one-shot the bobblehead. And I'm trying to figure out more and more ways to get a little bit craftier. That's right. And soak some efficiency, because as you've seen with my opponents, a lot of it has come down to efficiency, because they're pretty much going to one-shot my defense, and I need to be more efficient than them. And I'm trying to find ways to soak up efficiency and make them make tough choices. So that's kind of the theory behind this defense today. So we're going to start off on room number 3, and that's going to be kind of staying the same. The only difference is I'm going to put Ms. Marvel in here because I know Old Man Logan can stop the charges on Black Knight, and then you just have like a Kahori coming in here with like Loki and just doing big things. So I want to have Ms. Marvel as a bigger chargeable character in here. Obviously, this will still mess with Immortal because of the Emma Omega Sentinel combo here. I also might be taking Omega Sentinel up to gear tier 20 because I do have the tech gear for it. And I think I'm going to be kind of stuck taking Orcus, unfortunately. And I think she's going to be a good option with like Sentinel, Nimrod, Lady Deathstrike, and then Omega Red Phoenix Force. But I digress. That's going to be my room 3. Obviously, negative energy. Kahori is just good here. You need something that stops turn meters, so it's nice to have it here. What I would probably suggest doing is moving Kahori completely away from Black Knight and maybe just putting Emma there. And moving Kahori all the way on the other end so that you don't get that primary and adjacent damage from anything that's hitting Black Knight, hitting Kahori as well, potentially putting slow on her. Obviously, she can't go slow if she's over 50% life. I learned that the other day as well. Pretty awesome. But obviously, she can get knocked low, and then you can get slow put on her and all that kind of stuff. So maybe moving her over a little bit, maybe putting Ms. Marvel Classic there instead, or Emma, to create a little bit of an island situation once Emma dies super quickly. That's an idea. Room number 4, this is going to be the one where max health is lowering over and over and over again, and I have extra damage as well and extra health. So I'm putting Starjammers in here, and I know the mirror is going to beat Starjammers, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. The mirror works just fine. But what I'm noticing is it can be very inefficient, and it is going to be even more inefficient here if you can't heal. And what's going to help as well is that since my Havoc is now gear tier 20, 3 diamond, and the largest literally the largest character on my account. I'm not joking. He's bigger than Odin. He's bigger than everybody. So his pings out of turn are going to be doing so much damage and taking away that max health that this is going to soak up so much efficiency that it's going to be so beneficial. Even if they're doing the mirror matchup here, this is going to be great. And if they don't do the mirror matchup here, they're going to need something very strong to be able to take out this team. And most people don't know what that is. So that's pretty awesome as well. Love to do that. So that's my thought on room 4. Obviously, this can be beat, like I said, by the mirror matchup, but you can get caught off guard by Lilandra gear tier 20 if she gets to ult, or Havoc just continuing those pings out of turn does a lot of stuff, which is really great. Room number 5 is going to be staying the same. We've got Thunderbolt in here, and unfortunately, my Thunderbolts are a wee bit tiny. But if you have bigger Thunderbolts, you're going to have better results. We are seeing things like Cabal, Kang, Ares be able to take these out pretty efficiently. But the bigger ones, like if you got diamonds on the new characters, you definitely, Cabal, Kang, APOC is your choice to take this out. And if this is soaking up an APOC, there is nothing wrong with that at all. Now, soaking up Cabal, I think, is still a very good thing because Cabal is still useful. Don't get me wrong. They're good places. And especially if you're soaking up a Cabal Kang, That is really, really strong in my opinion, and I think it is something that should not be overlooked at all, that this team is soaking that up, because you're not really losing anything from offense by having them on defense in here, and I don't think there's enough benefits to treat this like a blank room. I think they get enough from the ability energy, as well as getting 100% crit chance and getting the extra focus. I think they get enough bonuses from this room that it is worth putting in here and not just ignoring it. Now for room number 6, we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to go back to Wanda's Revenge here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw Nightcrawler in here to mess with the speed a little bit. So what this is going to do is Nightcrawler is obviously going to special turn 1. He spawns with speed up, is going at 180 speed, and he's going to be messing with turn meter here. So your first thought here is maybe you want to use like a superior 6 here with Vulture to be able to get through this. And yeah, you absolutely can do that. That is an option, right? And then that makes you think maybe I'll put Illuminati somewhere on defense, maybe in room 5 instead. We still haven't gone over rooms 1 or 2. But then you can absolutely put like an Illuminati on defense and make them pick and choose, because then you're like, cool, I have vanilla Illuminati in room 5. They have to use Starjammers in 4. They're probably going to use Superior 6 and 6. What the hell are they going to use against vanilla Illuminati or like an Illuminati dorm or anything like that? And that causes some pick and choose right there, right? And that's something that you could absolutely do. And if they're going to potentially try to use Kang in 6 to steal the speed up, go a little bit faster, right? Nightcrawler still goes very quick because Kang will take the speed up, but he still has that turn meter based off of how much turn he had before Kang got to take his turn. So even if you're throwing in Kang in here, not the best option, right? But again, Cabal Kang is probably going to get soaked up by room number 5, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. So room number 6, another efficiency sink, or it's going to take a big team to be able to beat it quickly, because that Nightcrawler is going to cause a little bit more issues. Obviously, the retaliates from Wanda, the retaliates from Invisible Woman, and then if Falcon gets to take a turn by accident, he specials or he ults, there's going to be some problems, let me tell you. Also, this kind of messes with Tangled as well, because unless you have like Tangled and Cable or Tangled and Oath, but who the hell has those available to do that? Not many now, because Cable's obviously relegated to Immortal X-Men now, and Oath is almost always with Night Stalkers, and you're going to be using them somewhere. So that kind of messes with Tangled coming in here, getting charges very quickly, and then the retaliates don't do anything. So interested to see what somebody ends up running in here. Next up, we've got room number 2, Aggroed. The Night Stalker Scientist Supreme was fun. I did enjoy using it for a week. People were trying to brute force it and use Vigilante, and it was an efficiency sink, and it was really rough, which was really funny to watch. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Orcus with APOC here. And I know this was kind of the hot sauce and stuff people were running in the past a little bit. A couple weeks ago, I know this was like towards the end of last season, this became popularized, I think by Dayshear, if I'm not mistaken. But I've noticed on offense, I have not been using APOC. APOC was just kind of thrown in places where I was like, oh yeah, I guess I could throw APOC in there with Cabal. Why not? For fun. Who cares? I've noticed APOC, I just have not needed him. I don't need him to beat the bobblehead, Professor X. I have not needed him once, so I don't need that at all. And I haven't needed him. I just haven't used him. I haven't wanted to use him. I will fix the placement here before the video is over. I'll fix the placement here in 2 and in 3, just to show a little bit of a better placement on that. But let's talk about room number 1. So this is going to be the pain room here. We've got Phoenix Force, we've got Gladiator, Super Skrull, and Gore. The reason why I have Gore in here is he's just a big character, honestly. He's just 3 diamonds, new stats. He also gets a little bit of benefits with Gladiator as well, upping that safeguard for Gladiator, so being able to help out a little bit. And if you don't stun Gore here, Gore can take the charges off of Storm if they try to immortal this. So you're now putting a choice on them if they want to stun the Omega Red Phoenix Force, the Phoenix, or the Gore. Obviously, you can't stun Super Skrull here, but because I don't have the awakened abilities, this is actually a good choice that I'm forcing somebody into, because my Phoenix Force can be stunned, unlike some others who have the awakened ability. Another thing you could do here is you could throw in like a Joaquin in here, because Joaquin is really, really fast at like 131 speed, especially if he's overpowered as well. And he's going to be hitting with a bunch of AoE attacks really, really fast. So that's a potential that you could throw him in there to be able to get a hit off really quick, potentially do some surprise damage if he survives and then has some vulnerables. That could be some interesting hits there. Now, to change the placement up a little bit, what I am going to do is I'm going to move Gore over on the corner here, and I'm going to move Super Skrull over here. So Super Skrull, once he goes in stealth, he's going to put Omega Red Phoenix Force on an island, because you're not going to be able to do primary and adjacent damage to him and hit that 3-pack. Room 2, we're going to move APOC over dead center, because I want APOC to have the most amount of chances to be able to be next to the Sentinel summon, because the Sentinel summon, if he spawns anywhere near APOC, which is going to be in front of Scientist Supreme, behind APOC, or in front of Nimrod, so 3 places, what happens is if you use Night Stalkers, you can use Blade ult, and then Blade ult will end up pushing Apocalypse, and then Apocalypse ult puts Trauma out there, and then they are no longer flipping those slows, defense downs, offense downs from Scientist Supreme, and then the counter gets very, very tricky. Room number 3, we're going to move Kahori over 1 and 2 to make sure she is over in the corner, not getting hit by primary and adjacent damage. And then I'll move Ms. Marvel Classic over here to the middle to make sure Omega Sentinel's a little bit more protected as well. Room number 4, we can keep Howard the Duck over here is fine, because Howard the Duck is going to get hit by the special from Havoc turn 1 to get stunned. And then what's going to happen is it's going to be an ability block on Lilandra. So what I want to have happen here is I'm actually going to move Rocket over, because I don't want Havoc getting ability block, because if he can get to his stun and take a turn, actually, you know what? I'm going to move him here, because he's going to take a turn before that, and it's not going to matter. So I don't care. I'm going to move him here. So the ability block is going to hit these 3. It doesn't matter if it hits Howard, because guess what? Howard's already stunned, so the ability block is redundant. It doesn't matter. But it is going to hit Lilandra, and then Havoc had already taken his turn, so he's already going to be using his big ult, so it doesn't matter from there. We're going to keep that placement. Thunderbolt, absolutely keep Ghost next to Hyperion. And then what I'll do for room 6 is I'll put Falcon on an island here. So just in case Nightcrawler dies because of his old stats, he dies quickly, Falcon can be on an island and potentially get to his special or ult and do some big boy damage and just catch somebody off guard. So that's going to be my defense. If you guys want to have some mythics on defense, or if you have Professor X, I do recommend putting Professor X on defense, right? If you really want to be that guy and you really want to put Pain on defense, what you could do is do Professor X, a pre-taunt like Kingpin or Sasquatch. Kingpin is really good because of the summon can't be stopped by like a mortal even after a double sack. So Professor X, Kingpin, Odin, Null, and new Emma to stop turn meter. Professor X stops turn bar. That is a rough defense. I think I can one-shot it based off of what I have, but it's an expensive one-shot. It takes Odin, Null, Mephisto. It takes a lot of stuff. Not Null, but it takes Odin, Mephisto. It takes a lot of stuff to be able to one-shot it. I do recommend putting Null in there potentially as well instead of that pre-taunt maybe, and causing some more issues of not having Mephisto be able to get that battlefield effect up. That can be really, really cumbersome as well. So that's an option for you guys as well. If you want to put Odin on defense somewhere in here, you could just put the same old thing people have been running, the pre-taunt new Emma, Odin, Captain Britain, kind of conglomerate +1. Some people have been putting Null in there. Some people have been putting Mephisto in there. And the rooms where I'd put those in is either going to be room 2 or room 3. But I think room 3 is so good for Kahori, because Kahori obviously just makes this room so much better that you can put literally just trash cans with Kahori. Obviously, Black Knight's not a trash can, but you could put trash cans with Kahori, and immediately this room becomes way harder. But Professor X is okay in this room. I don't like that the stealing of the ability energy and stuff like that in there. So I'd probably prefer him in either room 2 or room 4. Room 4 is really nice because the mind control and the max health being lowered and stuff like that is nice. Or if you want to treat room 5 as a non-event room, you could do that. You could also put him in room 6. I'm almost positive the trauma thing is not working in room 6, which I don't know why it's not working, but I don't think it's working still. So not being able to put trauma out there could be pretty good to be able to get some cleanses out there, because then Odin will cleanse the stun from Professor X before Professor X goes. He doesn't have the trauma, and then you have some problems there. That's if the room is working correctly, but hey, what do I know? I don't know anything. But yeah, that's going to be my defense. I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, this has been Duelim. Later, MSFers.